How's everybody doing? Today, I would like to talk about and expand upon the meditative process when you incorporate energy work, when you think in terms of the potentiality for alchemy, for self-healing, for transmuting what is going on within you or just immediately outside of you, and as you walk through the world, how that affects what happens um, as you ping out to other people. And I am just a couple of minutes off from accessing the group that I participate in that is facilitated by a particular person who's very skilled at what she does. And I'm tingling from basically going out into field and frequency to experience myself on a more expansive level, to connect to the other participants as well as the facilitator of the group while we're doing this process, so that it's not just me, it's just not just me in my little room while we do this across the world, because all the participants are from all different countries. It's that working collectively from no matter where we are and getting to the point where you can feel that you're part of an energetic grid, that you're part of a system that can pulse out a vibration, that can actually sense and receive a vibration, that can resonate in a vibration. And when I talk about combining meditation and energetics, to explain that in a slightly different way, is to basically use the framework of meditation, the induction, the settling of your body, the relaxing, and trying to release the tension of what you're going through in that moment, and centering and grounding so that you can open the door to even engage with your energy body. And in the process of doing this work, again, that I access myself, I'm finding out that there's way more to us than we understand. I knew this on an intellectual level, but to continually experience it when I do this work, when I do this practice, with myself alone, accessing recordings of the group that I access, but also when we do it live, we are far more than who we are in the density of this experience of being a human on this planet. And when you use a meditation framework, you're using a model that many of us understand, many of us already do, and adding another level to it. And yes, in some cases you can see that work as alchemical, but I just see it as just kind of remembering who we are. And yes, there's a chance for alchemy to happen, but for a lot of people who are new to this, a lot of people who have trauma in their lives, a lot of people who are being traumatized by what's going on in the United States right now, have a hard time even conceptualizing the idea of alchemizing any of this stuff, let alone the personal, which can be just as wild and devastating and just seem to be ever persistent in our lives. But in saying all of that, I think using something we know to invite this new level of engagement with ourself, and by somatically understanding that the body can invite us into who we are at this moment, what we're feeling, and it has wisdom to share with us. And as it's doing that, it allows us to have the capacity to engage with our energy body. And when we do that, there's just so many possibilities. For example, you find out that you're not alone in your experience ever. And that you can have the experience of being one with your energy body. You can have an experience of understanding why you feel a certain sensation somewhere. Why do you get a charge about something when you experience it? Why do you get a charge when you're around certain people? All those things are all physical intelligence for you to tap into. And I sometimes, my day job is working with very young children in helping them basically begin the process of their development, language, and all those different things that occur at that time for them. And I also have worked with kids who are a little bit older, and I will say that I have a metaphor for you. When you come in to engaging with yourself on an energetic level, when you begin to get a glimpse of that, say you sense the current in some small way, that is your midline. And your midline is that line of energy that goes right in front of your spine, straight up and down into the core, reaching into the core of the earth. So you get a glimmer of what that feels like, what that might be. And over time, maybe that expands for you, what that experience is. You may sense it, you may see it, because some people are more visual than they are sensory. When you start to be able to do that, and then you can expand from there, you can, what's the sensory experience in your fingertips, in your arms, in your elbows, in your solar plexus, in your lower back, in your feet, wherever, as you start to pay attention to that part of your body. Sometimes I compare it to that awareness that you're developing while you regularly practice doing this. This awareness is like when you start to pay attention to your fingers, when you start to pay attention to your neck, all those areas, and then the intelligence of your energy body. Well, basically, it feels like to me, it's almost as if it's saying, hey, she's paying attention. He's paying attention. Right now, she's looking at me right now. She's aware of this aspect of us right now. And I sometimes feel like the recognition that we finally have engaged, we finally see that aspect of who we are. It itself possibly has the reaction that kids have. Because I'm sure so many of you have seen the videos of the way kids are, when they're doing a performance at their school, they're standing on stage and they're looking around in the audience for their people. And you could see there's some possible nervousness because they're about to perform. But there's this nervousness, are they there? Have they arrived? Are they here? Will they see me? And then the look on their face when they see their people. It's a beautiful moment. And I think also in terms of like when there may be a part of your body that is got a lot of emotional pain, or maybe it's simply physical pain that has not let you know what the emotional pain is. So see, there's a pain in your body and you haven't fully addressed it yet or looked at it and spent time with it. And then you do this work and you show up and you say, I'm here. I feel what this is. And it isn't just surface pain. sometimes I feel like in that moment, the energy body, that aspect of ourselves, is is almost like, where this pain is. It's almost like the pain is like a little kid, especially a toddler, who is new to early learning, new to a Head Start program. And then mom comes to pick them up at the end of the day. Mom walks in and mom says, hi. And the baby, who has been playing and having fun, sees mom, and bursts out crying. Because he gets in touch with how much he missed her. And he's glad that she's here. And it's like, wasn't quite sure she'd come back. I mean, he kind of did. It's just that thing, that emotion of like, oh my God, relief. Mom's here. She's here to pick me up. And so all of those, I see these reactions in children as they develop, as they start to realize who they are and what their awarenesses are and what they're surprised by. And I think that our energy body has elements of that, and I want for us, for that level of who we are on an energetic level, to have the experience of your awareness focused on that spot of your body, that aspect of you, saying, I'm here, I see you, and we're going to spend time with this. We don't have to understand it, but we'll spend time all the way understanding I'm here. And so that is how healing can occur from you, simply by you and your awareness giving presence to your energy body, to the meridians that flow through your body. And as you work through the parts of you that have pain, that have trauma, that have stored memories in them, good or bad, then you're developing a relationship with yourself. You're developing a muscle to be able to put that potent inner focus, which is a creative tool that you use to co-create your existence. When you use it to give presence to yourself, you use it to heal, you use it to develop inner strength on a whole nother level. And I think it enhances your discernment. Of course, it enhances your intuition, because then maybe you like what you find when you go within, when it's not always about trauma. And that is something you want to hold on to, because this thing that's within us, that's energetic, can probably, most definitely, give us a sense of other people. You start to see who's not in alignment. You start to see who's on edge and possibly could break, depending on what could happen. And you see the people who are troubled. You see the people who are happy. And you see joy, pure joy, on a much more expansive level. So, the meditative framework, energy work, your focus, it's a beautiful thing. And when I do work with people as a guide, I do that one-on-one, and I incorporate some aspects of what I've just been talking about to do accountability with people, because one of the things with ADHD and neurodivergence is, bouncing with constant things like a channel being changed constantly. Doing this type of work can help anchor you or be kinder to yourself as you be who you are. And as you continue to do this work, then you're in a position of being much more expansive. So yeah, as a guide, I will incorporate pieces of this stuff to help the process. can also, based on my having done this work for a long time and being the one person at work that people turn to and say, okay, what do you think? What's going on here? You know, I'm not saying I'm a highly intuitive person, but I do sense stuff. And so in a guidance session, I'm trying to give you perspective. And a lot of times the way I prefer to do that and the way I allow this thing to happen is I'm working off of who you are and what you bring to that moment. I may have my own personal filters, but I really work hard to not let that affect what I say, because I understand when someone puts their frameworks on you. That's not what I do. Because I'm about us expanding who we are so that we can usher into this realm new ways of being as humans, as well as calm down the crazy in our heads, the constant thoughts, the anxiety. I'm about that too. So one-on-one, you can get this experience, and the point is to not have to do some of this work alone. You can do this work on your own, but working with other people helps you be seen and helps you release, and your heart needs to not be alone for some of this type of work. And then when I do this in a group dynamic, it's about working collectively, and in the act of doing that, we have the opportunity and amplify what can happen positively for all of us in the process. In the group that I just finished doing minutes ago, we were guided into imagining each of us were pillars of a structure that was pointing our hands up and sending out beams of light, pulsing out love from our hearts. And no matter what I say online about anything, that is a core of where I am right now, which is, yes, I'm concerned about what we do each day as humans, but I understand that if we're going to change anything about the world right now that needs changing, we're going to have to use different strategies and different tools. And I've decided that for me, and anybody who's of like mind, that's working with energy and the patterns of it that go out into the cosmos. So, I hope you found that interesting. And if you did, please don't forget to hit the like button. Consider subscribing. And if you're interested in working with me, my information is below. Take care of yourselves and don't try to handle all this crazy by yourself. Goodbye.